When we think about human history, we often imagine it as a straight road, a linear journey from ignorance to enlightenment, from chaos to order, from primitive survival to sophisticated society. This is the version of history we are taught in schools, the story in which humanity starts small and gradually climbs toward greatness, fueled by innovation, discovery, and determination. But what if that isn't the full picture? What if the road isn't straight at all, but circular, broken, scattered across ages and continents? What if there were civilizations before us that achieved heights we cannot even begin to imagine, only to vanish without a trace? Could it be that the story of humanity is not one long continuous arc, but a series of rises and collapses where advanced cultures once flourished, only to be swallowed by time, their wisdom forgotten, their cities buried beneath earth and sea? Today, as we marvel at artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and space exploration, we often assume that no one before us could have come close to this level of advancement. And yet, scattered across the world, in the jungles, deserts, mountains, and oceans, we find anomalies, ruins, artifacts, and stories that whisper of a different past, a past that does not fit neatly into the textbooks, a past that suggests we may not be the first advanced civilization to walk the earth. Consider the ancient world's great wonders, not just their size or grandeur, but the sheer mystery surrounding their construction. The Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed with mathematical precision and aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions and specific stars, continues to baffle engineers. How did the builders move blocks weighing 50, even 70 tons, across desert terrain, up to great heights, without modern cranes or trucks? Why does the pyramid's internal structure resemble advanced geometric ratios and energy-efficient design principles? And the mystery deepens when we turn to other sites. At Baalbek in Lebanon, we find the Trilithon, 3 stone blocks each weighing over 800 tons, forming a platform that defies logical explanation. Even with today's technology, moving a single one of those stones would be a major engineering challenge. Yet, here they lie, fitted together millennia ago. Who built them? And for what purpose? In South America, we find Sacsayhuamán in Peru, enormous stone walls, crafted with such precision that a single sheet of paper cannot fit between the stones. Each block is of a different shape and size, yet they interlock like a giant 3D puzzle. Some of the stones weigh over 100 tons, yet they were lifted and positioned in a mountainous region, with no evidence of mortar. The stones are also resistant to earthquakes, suggesting an understanding of seismic engineering. Then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, perhaps the most disruptive archaeological discovery of the last century. Dated to around 9600 BCE, it predates Stonehenge by over 6,000 years and was constructed by people supposedly living as simple hunter-gatherers. And yet, Göbekli Tepe consists of massive stone pillars, some over 16 feet tall, adorned with detailed carvings of animals and symbols. The site challenges the notion that complex societies and monumental architecture only came after the invention of agriculture. What kind of culture had the organizational skill, astronomical knowledge, and artistic ability to create such a place at the very dawn of civilization? If these sites were isolated, we might dismiss them as curiosities. But they're not. All over the globe we find mysterious structures that seem out of place in their own timelines. The Sun Temple of Konark in India, the megaliths of Nan Madol in Micronesia, the massive underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey, which could house 20,000 people with air shafts and fresh water systems, entirely hidden beneath the surface. Who built these places and why? And then there are the ancient stories, passed down through myths, legends, and sacred texts, They speak of great floods, lost continents, sky beings, divine teachers, and golden ages. We're told they are allegories, metaphors, fantasy. But what if they are echoes, fragments of real events, distorted by time but rooted in truth? The Hindu epics, for instance, describe flying machines called vimanas, capable of traversing the skies with propulsion systems and devastating weaponry. These accounts are surprisingly detailed, describing propulsion, vertical takeoff, and aerial dogfights. In the Book of Enoch and other ancient Jewish writings, angels descend to earth, bringing forbidden knowledge to humankind: agriculture, metallurgy, astronomy. The Hopi, Zuni, and other Native American tribes speak of multiple worlds, civilizations that rose, fell, and were reborn. Are these tales simply myth, or are they cultural memories of a forgotten era? And what about Atlantis? Plato describes it not as legend but as history, a powerful maritime civilization with advanced knowledge that met its end in a catastrophic event. While the exact location of Atlantis remains unknown, other sunken cities have been found: Dwarka off the Indian coast, the Bimini Road in the Bahamas, and structures near Cuba, all submerged beneath the sea, suggesting that rising waters may have erased more than just coastlines. Indeed, around 12,000 years ago, at the end of the Younger Dryas period, the Earth underwent drastic changes: massive floods, volcanic activity, and a rapid climate shift mark this time in geological records. Some researchers suggest that a comet impact or solar outburst caused global cataclysms. Could this be the same Great Flood described in dozens of cultures, from the Mesopotamian Gilgamesh to the biblical Noah, from the Chinese Gunyu flood myth to Andean legends of a world washed clean? If such a cataclysm occurred, and if there was an advanced civilization before it, then much of its infrastructure would have been coastal and vulnerable. Rising sea levels could have submerged entire continents of knowledge. Survivors might have spread across the globe, carrying fragments of their wisdom, inspiring new cultures, religions, and technologies. Could the Egyptian, Mesopotamian, Indus Valley, and Mesoamerican civilizations all be inheritors of a deeper, older legacy? As we peer into these possibilities, we must ask, why is mainstream academia so resistant to these ideas? Part of the answer lies in the nature of science itself. Science progresses by testing theories, but it also depends on consensus. Radical ideas often meet fierce resistance. History is written by the victors, and archaeology is shaped by what we choose to fund, dig, and preserve. Entire cities may lie beneath jungles or ice, but without excavation they remain hidden. And in a world where funding is limited and academic reputations are at stake, few dare to challenge the accepted timeline. But slowly, that is changing. Independent researchers, open-minded scientists, and curious minds are beginning to re-examine the evidence. Technologies like LIDAR are revealing vast ancient networks beneath the Amazon rainforest. Satellite imagery is exposing unnatural formations in Antarctica and the Sahara. Deep sea scans uncover symmetrical structures on the ocean floor. Piece by piece, the old puzzle is being rewritten. Could it be that ancient civilizations understood the power of sound frequencies, what we now call cymatics? Could they have used acoustics to move stones, heal the body, or open states of consciousness? Many ancient temples are built to resonate at specific frequencies. In the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid, for instance, certain tones produce powerful acoustic effects. Is this coincidence or forgotten science? Could sacred geometry, often dismissed as art, actually represent a universal code? The flower of life, the golden ratio, and the Fibonacci sequence appear in nature, in galaxies, in DNA. Did the ancients map these patterns to build harmoniously with the universe itself? And what about human potential? We now know that consciousness affects matter at the quantum level. Experiments in remote viewing, telepathy, and energy healing are no longer fringe. They're being tested, measured, and validated. Could our ancestors have mastered these abilities, not as myths or magic, but as everyday tools? Could they have built temples not just for worship, but as energetic amplifiers, consciousness enhancers, or portals to other realms? We may never know the full truth, but we can choose to open our minds, to question the narrative we've inherited, and to consider the possibility that we are part of something much older, much richer, and much more mysterious than we ever imagined. Perhaps our future depends not on inventing new technologies, but on remembering old ones. Perhaps the key to healing our planet, unlocking the secrets of the universe, and understanding our true selves lies not in looking ahead, but in looking behind. The answers may be buried in stone, in myth, in ancient texts, and in the silent language of ruins. But they are there, waiting for us to listen. This is the timeless code.